I think it's funny when you add a little bit of money to a sport and you give some girls attention, what they can do with it. I think everyone should take a page out of our book and really put some more time and effort into women's everything.
Welcome to Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. We're talking women's hockey from the PWHL to the NCAA. We'll be talking with players, builders, coaches, and fans who have made this great game what it is today. It's time to educate, empower, and elevate. Let's go!
Welcome back. Episode number 14. We're officially we're officially a teenager, but we were a teenager at 13, so never mind. Stay hot, Brownie.
We're closer to our license.
Yeah. Well, we are joined today by very happy to have this player on with us. Two-time AHCA All-American Scholar, two-time WCHA Scholar Athlete, two-time WCHA All-Academic, coming off her statistically best season and named captain for the upcoming season for the University of Minnesota Duluth, MK O'Brien. MK, welcome to the pod.
Hi, yeah, thank you so much for having me.
I'm stoked that you're doing this. I want to give a quick shout out to Tori Sullivan for putting us together. Thanks, Tori. And glad to have you on. And we're not all Hockey East. This proves it.
I know when Brownie wrote me and said, "Hey, let's have MK O'Brien on. She's the next captain at Duluth," and I was like, "What? How did this happen with you?"
I mean, yeah. To be fair, Tori's our Northeastern connection, but still, that doesn't take away from this.
No, pleasantly surprised. Brownie's reaching out. If you listen to
that.
any other, we have to get Brownie. Like, we're working him out of his comfort zone. You know, that whole Boston area.
Yeah, I'm a Hockey East guy, and it's like some of these leagues. I'm like, holy smokes, this hockey's unbelievable because I never watched it, but it's great. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to be the first WCHA representative here. So
nice. Yeah. Well, let's jump back from Wilbraham, right? For those that aren't from the Bay State here, home to Friendlies, home to Billy Guerin, which I didn't know this, so I was doing research. Huge part of the Underground Railroad in Wilbraham, and the town center is the largest historical site in the U.S. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh man, we need a sound effect for like hidden facts, useless facts, whatever it may be. We just need a
All right, like a flush. That's what you're saying.
We're still working on those, MK too.
Let's go back to the beginning. Who got you started in hockey? Who got you involved?
My dad. So hockey was like a huge sport in my family. Even like my mom, she didn't play herself, but like all of her brothers played. My older brother played, my cousins. So like there was the pipeline there already. And like I played other sports too, but like hockey was the one that for sure my parents were going to like make me play and make me stick with for a while. And really they pushed that one. But so I started when I was really young.
Oh, that's great. You alluded to other sports. What other sports did you play growing up?
I played soccer. That was always like my number 2. And then I played softball. And then in high school, I ended up running track, and I played a year of field hockey too.
Oh, nice.
Multi-sport athlete all day. We don't get any of those anymore.
It's good though. It's so much better. I love when we have people on and they talk about how they played every sport that they could, as opposed to just being focused on one. I just think it gives you a better. You're not always the best player on the team. It gives you a little more humble pie and working in a dynamic of a team setting. And I just think it only makes you better in the long run.
Right. Yeah. And like growing up, there wasn't a ton of like girl hockey players too. So like I played soccer with so many girls from town. So it was just like another like way of socializing too. So early on, I would say it was definitely like good for me to be doing all of the extracurriculars.
Yeah, for sure. Was there someone that you patterned? Like, was there I assume your parents Bruins fans, right?
Oh yeah.
Was there a player that like
even now?
Yes, we're very loyal.
We're staying up, very loyal. I love it.
Was there a player like that you watched like maybe as a kid with your dad or your mom that you were like, oh, that's my guy, or someone that you kind of emulated?
100%. It's actually so funny because I used to watch Bruins games, and like I wouldn't watch the game, I'd just watch Patrice Bergeron.
Oh yeah.
And like he might be the cliche answer, but I feel like he was just, I mean, obviously in his prime, like growing up my whole life. I'm turning 23 this year, so it was like the bread and butter was Patrice Bergeron, and he was like the perfect player, like
Yep.
selfless, 200-foot leader, class act. And like I literally used to sit and watch him skate around. I wasn't even watching the puck sometimes. Like, and I was just in awe of like everything that he did and how he just had so many like intangibles, and like he was trusted in every situation, penalty kill, power play, first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes. And so that was something that I was always really drawn to from an early age.
That's great you say that, because the stuff you said about Bergeron is some of the scouting I saw about you. The 200-foot player, impactful in all zones, responsible. So, hey, good. I mean, you picked a good guy to watch, right?
Yeah, and like I mean, definitely watched a lot of like Marchand growing up too, and like so I think he was always like a second favorite player, but like Bergeron was always just on a pedestal beyond everyone else in my mind. So I definitely think like I try to model my game after him as much as I could.
He's like
I
the
think you,
perfect human. Yeah.
yeah, I think you can't deny, kids growing up in a city. I'm a Melrose kid in Massachusetts, and went to Northeastern, so stayed same growing up. I mean, I think when I was younger, my dad told me I used to put on my equipment and sit and watch the Bruins, like without my skates. So fun fact.
Wow.
But let me ask you this: where everything is at with women's hockey, who do you love in women's hockey that you're like, I'm that, or you identify I'm that player, or now I watch that player that way? Are you there with watching PW games or the national teams?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely a women's hockey fan. It's funny because it's like a different situation considering the fact that so many of them I've played with and against. Like I
Yeah.
think that's so fun too, is to like see them and admire them, but also like see them as a peer almost in the same way.
Mhm.
And so like I do watch a lot of women's hockey, and like to see past teammates be playing in the PWHL, like that's always really cool. Which is why I say like I don't have a favorite PWHL team. Like I
Right.
just cheer for,
Yeah.
the Bulldogs and whatever. But yeah, I think it's so cool because there's so many different like playing styles. Like you have like Poulin, who seems to just have like a complete package, like I would consider like a power forward goal scorer, also relied upon in any situation, and then you have someone like Taylor Heisey, who's like really fast and also really physical, and you can just see the intensity with her when she's playing. I wouldn't say that I have like one player to the same like caliber as like I would compare like a Patrice Bergeron in my mind, just
Yeah.
because like as a little girl growing up, um, I was watching the Bruins and that's how it is now. But I think like that I'm older and like I am a women's hockey fan, I can appreciate like everyone. And
Mhm.
yeah, like I love watching, and I just love being a fan of the game too, even though like I play myself. So
Well, it's so relatable to you and what you're doing right now, right?
right. Mm-hmm.
Just think how many little girls are watching you, though. Same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's so great. And now they get to see you and hear you and be like, oh, so in 15 years, they're on a podcast and they're like, oh, I watched MK play, for the Bulldogs. And that's who I patterned my game after. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's like what's so special I think about women's hockey too, is that like it's so close knit, I feel like, among like all of it, because we have like the professionals, the national team players like wanting to make a difference and helping grow the game, and I think that that's something that like we take a lot of pride in. So and even at like Duluth, like community means everything to us, and so like we're always trying to give back to the community, engage with the young girls that are in the area that are playing. So I think that's what's so special about women's hockey, is that we're always trying to grow it.
Mm. Last Bruins related question. What do you think it's going to be like when Marchand comes back in October?
Oh gosh. I'm still like so sad about that whole situation because like I said, I mean, once Bergeron retired, it was like
Mm-hmm.
Marchand was the guy that I had been watching since I was a little girl. And so, like, there's always that sore spot about it. And I think Bruins fans aren't, at least from how I feel. I don't know if this is, I think this is how most of us feel. We're not upset with him.
Right.
Because
Right.
he was the one that wanted to stay. He
Right.
wanted to be a Bruin the rest of his career. It was just disagreements in contract negotiation, which is like part of the business side of it. But it's hard when like that's your captain and that's your longest tenured Bruin, and it's like you want to jump through extra hoops to get him to stay.
You would think.
You would
Mhm.
think. So, I mean, it hurt a little bit to see him go to Florida, obviously, but I'm always a Brad Marchand fan, and I think a lot of Bruins fans think the same way. I don't think people were upset to see him lift a cup in Florida.
No. I think
So
I think people were happy. I mean, I was happy for him. It's not that he hadn't won a cup in Boston, but at the same time,
no, he did. He was on the team.
no, it's not that he hadn't.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's not that he hadn't. Like when I was growing up, Ray Bork had to go to Colorado
Yep.
to win a cup, right?
Yeah.
So, and I remember, I mean, Boston might as well have had a parade.
right.
And there were plenty of events that I think he came back for, actually.
He had City Hall Plaza. I went.
Yeah.
There was like a million
yeah.
people there for Ray Bork to bring the Stanley Cup that he won somewhere else.
Yeah.
Shows you
I
how
think
sad it
when
was.
things happen like that, like, I don't know. You know, we're talking about this a little bit with the PWHL and trying to understand some of the decisions that they're making, and always trying to fall back on the whole, well, it's a business. And are we business people? Do we understand business, the business of running a professional league or a team? No. But at the same time, like, I just feel like, I don't know, that's the last I'll say about it, but to cut off your nose to spite your face, like with, the Bruins, like giving him up is kind of crazy.
Right. And
Well,
it's
college. We talked about the portal. College hockey's turning. You're the company that you work for is MK O'Brien Inc. Right? As much as you work for right, Minnesota Duluth, and you want them to do well, you have to take care of yourself. Who was it just got drafted by the Fleet? Mobley.
yeah.
She transferred like 3 times in her college career until she found what worked for her. And now that you have that ability, you can't fault the player for doing what's best for them. And they wouldn't give Marchand less than what he got in Florida. So it's crazy.
I know. And like that's the thing is like it was gonna come down to like management needed to not dig their heels in the sand as hard as they did.
Hmm.
Like they weren't willing to, and it's like a lot of trade-offs are involved, but like to let your captain, like that's like he's like the glue of that locker room. Obviously, I don't know the intricate details, but like you'd think that he's like the heart and soul of that team. And so it's definitely sad, but I think like when he's back in Boston, he's always going to be welcome with open arms. I mean, I was even happy to see him win gold at the Four Nations, and obviously I was cheering for US, but when Canada won, I was like, well, at least Marchand won,
Yeah.
So,
I had the same. Yeah, I had the same thoughts. Yeah, no, I'm with you. All right, so from Wilbraham, you ended up at the Williston Northampton School. Couple 2 years.
Who was your coach there?
Krista Talbot.
It was Krista. I couldn't remember how far back Krista started there. I know she's been there a while.
And we talked. She just missed Constantinople by a year in their overlap. Yeah. But you did play. A couple of names stuck out to me. Gabby Jones, who's playing in the Swedish league, and I'm going to mess this up. Bryn. I'm not even going to try her last name. You know who I'm talking about? Who's Syracuse, right? Yeah, she's a great player. Yeah. I just never get it right. Even if I hear it, I like it's in and out. It can.
And then he gets a lot of flack about it.
Yeah, I butcher the names. Yeah. So was that your first time like away from home?
Yeah, so I went there as a true freshman.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and so my first year as a true freshman, I commuted because it's like a 40-minute drive-ish from my house. And so it was just going to help ease that transition a little bit. And then my second year there is when I lived away and I boarded there. So, yeah.
And then was that then the move to BK, right? After that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Linda has actually been boots on the ground at the campus recently, and she's
Yeah,
seen.
I live in Rochester now, so
Okay.
somehow they tore me away from Boston. I live in Rochester, New York, so very different, but all good. So I was able to go down to BK, and Chelsea Walkland, as we mentioned to you before, is coach over there and a friend of mine. So I was able to do a tour and check out. They've probably done a lot of enhancements even since you played there. So it was pretty impressive over there. What was the transition? Just looking for more competitive hockey, or what were you hoping with the transition to BK?
Yeah, so there was a lot of things that came down to it. So like I said, when I went to Williston, I went as a true freshman and I was already young for my birth year. So and you know how it's pretty common like in New England for people to repeat their freshman
Mhm.
year. But at the time, like I didn't feel like I needed to and I didn't really want to. So then I ended up making that decision and just after like my going into like my second year at Williston, I was kind of like feeling like I just wasn't playing enough hockey, I guess, because when you go to those boarding schools, you have to play 3 sports.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, and you play for like a split season team. So that would be like your East Coast Wizards, your Assabet Valley, your Mid Fairfield, whatever, like your split season. And that would be the team to compete for nationals. And you really could only play with them like on a Sunday or something. Like it was like once a week. So I was just feeling like I wanted to be playing hockey year round. And like I did really appreciate playing other sports growing up, but I just thought like getting into high school, like hockey was the sport that I wanted to be taking most seriously. That was the one that I wanted to play in college. And so I just felt like going to BK was going to give me the opportunity to really take the next step in my game. And like actually I was getting recruited by them in 8th grade, like for their
Oh,
first year of existence, essentially.
Yeah.
And at that point, I just wasn't ready to move that far away from home, which is why I went to Williston in the first place. But it was just a full circle moment where now I was going to be moving there when I was 16 instead of freshly 14. And I would think I was just like ready to take that step.
yeah, those summer birthdays gives you a little bit of flexibility. My daughter has it. You're the 22nd I saw. I'm the 27th, so it was the same thing growing up. You don't get the cake in class, but you get a lot of other benefits.
Yes.
You don't get the summer cake. I mean, the school. Uh, Talk about BK Select, the competition, the people that you practice with and against. Holy smokes! When I was looking through this, like
Yeah.
it's big time. I mean, that's like the top. It's like the Shattuck kind of rosters, you know.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yeah, that was, like, the other part of it too is, like, not only was, like, the training setup elite, like, what you were doing every single day, like, elite, but it was the people you were doing it with and against in practice that, like, also helped you take the next step. So it was, like, elite, like, facilities, staff, obviously, but then also your peers. It's just, like, a really healthy, competitive environment to help you grow.
Yeah, and Chelsea was showing me level of commitment, being that they had to keep that
well,
shooting room
the
closed
key.
during the day. Yeah, they had to keep it locked during the day because people would try to sneak in there and shoot, when you're supposed to be in classes. So
I believe it.
yeah.
And I don't want to gloss over this, but you're like a three-time state champ too, right? You had two with BK, and then one with the Boston Junior Eagles, the state. So three-time state champ. Not a
Yeah,
big deal, right?
maybe
As a
4. 4 actually.
Oh, because the Connecticut one, right?
Yeah,
That's
mhm,
right, with the Mid Fairfield. Yep.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
okay.
I could find no records or rosters of Mid Fairfield. Could not
Really?
find anything. Anything.
Wow.
Yeah. I did want to ask though on the BC Junior Eagles, I saw your video, your no days off skills video that you made. Do you remember that?
I think so, yeah.
How I want to know how many takes, if you remember. because you did the edge work drill where you were whipping around the cones, dug the puck off the wall, went down and went bar down, and then you like looked at the camera and you were like, no days off or something to that effect. It was awesome. I was trying to find it. What happened was I found it when I was doing research. I meant to save it because we can like incorporate videos into this, and I was going to play it, but I could never find it again. I could not. I went back on the history and couldn't find it.
He always finds this moment right here where the person's like, oh my God, how did you find that? I forgot about that.
It was awesome. And I'm assuming it was based like the Bill Belichick no days off I'm sure that was part of it. Yeah.
That's supposed to be in the archives, like never to be seen again.
We're gonna resurrect it for you on social media.
If I can find it, I'll put it up on our socials as long as you're okay with it. It's great, dude. It's a great video. I just didn't know if you remembered that or whose idea it was or what.
That's like a very distant memory, but that's so funny. So we'll say that was first take.
That's awesome. All right, and then to University Minnesota Duluth. Can I just say again? This is my ignorance. Can I just say Duluth or
Duluth or UMD?
UMD. All right. Mm-hmm. Did you look at any other schools, and how did you choose UMD?
Yeah, so I was kind of going through the recruiting process what seemed like for a while, especially with reclassing when I went to BK. So like originally I was only looking at like Hockey East and ECAC because I thought I really wanted to stay close to home. Like for a while, like I really wanted to go to Northeastern, or like BC was really like big when I was young going into high school. And then I was like considering maybe going to Ivy too. So like Harvard, Quinnipiac, like I looked at, so a lot of schools that were like in my backyard essentially. But then when I ended up going to BK, that was when I kind of expanded my like horizons, I guess. That's when I started to look at the WCHA and just looking at schools beyond what I knew and what was close. And so also reclassing gave me almost like a fresh start in my recruiting process. So when it came down to it, my first year at BK, I was like looking to commit before Christmas of that year, not to like rush it or anything, but like, at the time before the rule change, sometimes it felt like a race. So my goal was to commit before Christmas, and I was having some conversations, but once UMD entered the picture at the time, Maura Kroll was the head coach and she's from Massachusetts. So that like connection really helped me feel comfortable looking in the WCHA because I knew, there aren't a lot of Mass kids that go to Minnesotan schools. It's just how it is, or, that's how it's been. But having that connection there really helped me feel comfortable. And just their identity as a team, like blue collar, hardworking, I felt like it really fit my playing style. So yeah, it was kind of a no-brainer once I started having conversations.
And such a beautiful facility. I mean, I've spent some time up there to go up and visit with Schuler. Been up there for almost each of the Frozen Fours that have been up there. And being a Mass kid, I would say also, I really enjoy it up there. I mean, the summers are actually gorgeous up there. I mean, I don't know about the underground tunnel in the winter. I shouldn't say that because I don't know about other schools, but Northeastern does have underground tunnels as well. But yeah, it's really, really impressive. That's a very thorough process for you because you're right. The East Coast kids, they have so much to choose from in such a condensed area that it's hard to get it wrong, even if you just stay close,
Definitely. And so that's why I'm like very fortunate that it took me a little bit longer, or like an extra year, I guess, with reclassing, like to really weigh my options, because I feel like when you're 14, 13, you really don't know what you want besides, I want to play hockey, like you don't think about what you might want to study, or, like how you might fit with the area or the staff or whatever. So there's so many things that go into making a decision that I'm glad that I made that decision when I was 16 instead of like 13 or 14 years old, because like, who knows if I had made a decision there if I would have ended up somewhere where I could be successful and happy. So I'm very fortunate, and like it's helped me learn a lot more like things, but besides what I knew in Massachusetts. So it's like funny, Minnesota is like its own world out here, and I've got to meet like,
Sure.
a lot of new people, and yeah, so it's been really cool.
They're so nice. It's like going to Vermont and you're like, why are they so nice? Like, I don't trust it. But then you realize, oh no, that's how they really are.
Yeah.
That's the Massachusetts viewpoint. They're like, why is that person so nice? What do they want from me? But then
Yeah.
you're like, no, some people are actually that nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's nice to expand the horizons.
Yeah.
You mentioned the coaches. What was it's always curious to me when a coach takes over, especially an assistant takes over for a head coach, what did they keep the same? What did they change? What were the differences that you noticed, if any? There might not be any.
Right. Well, I would say so. Shu obviously has been here since I was a freshman, but she had coached at UMD before, so
Yeah.
she's like a very decorated coach. So even when she was an assistant, she was basically like an extension almost. Like she could have been a head coach at the time too, and she came back to Duluth because she loves it so much, and so that's I'm like very happy for her that ultimately she got the head coaching position here. Um, and I would say like a lot of things did stay the same, like systematically, that is, just because like I would say she was just a mastermind when it comes to the X's and O's of the game. Like that's her bread and
100%.
butter. So she's like a genius in that way. So a lot of that like stayed the same. And then I would just say like things that have been different have just come down to like different personalities. So like Coach Shu and Coach Mora are just different people, and like so in that way like things have been different, but you're going to get that if anyone else takes over. So
Right.
it hasn't been like a huge change, and it's like been really great that there is the familiarity that she was a part of the staff before, and her and I have gotten to know each other very well over these past 4-5 years. So yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I want to just like give some kudos to, you guys as players for that transition, even though it wasn't a huge one. But I also want to give kudos. I remember when Maura brought Laura in, and obviously, as I told you, we were close friends, college teammates. We coached together at Northeastern. That's how I ended up at Northeastern, and then stayed there when she moved on to Duluth to take the first time she coached at Duluth. She is definitely a maestro of the X's and O's. Like I still say in all of my coaching days, there's only a few people I could say this about, but she's the top in just being able to whip up a practice off the top of her head. And literally it will be quality, it will be clear, succinct, like just really, like you said, you nailed it with how impressive that has always kind of been her thing, and obviously has grown into such a tremendous leader. And I want to give the credit, when she picked up Duluth, she told me today, we were talking about the recruiting classes in general at Duluth, and obviously a bit about you, which I want to share next in the context of this. But she just talked so much about the culture that Maura had already created that it was easy for her to buy into on her own as a coach, realizing how much value that is, and then carry that on. Just pick up the ball and run with it and say, this is already taken care of, and we've already wired it this way. Nothing needs to be fixed here. It's not broken. I need to be myself, but also work within the context of what is already created that's so working well here. And that was sort of her description of, even back when she came into the program to today, like she said that today. So huge shout out to your staff and your players for just like, it seems like that transition was pretty seamless.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's evident by your success individually as players go into the PWHL, as well as, on the national scene.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're both like such amazing and strong leaders that like are always trying to be better too. Like I talk to Shu pretty frequently, and she just always seems like she's learning. Like she's never satisfied. Like even like herself, like just always reading or watching video or whatever it is. So she's like a lifelong learner too. So
And I'm going to share with you what she shared with me today, and I'm going to read it, some of it, because I don't want to get it wrong. I couldn't write fast enough. And so hold on to your hats. She said, when I asked her about you, she said her work ethic is impeccable. But she said, not just on the ice, but in every aspect of life. She said she's coachable and respectable, and she's very underrated when it comes to the fact that she's quick and she can shoot the puck off the fly better than any player I know. So, I mean, given she just is so impressed with the skill part of it, but she kept going on and on about how you raise the level of communication on your team, and everybody really knows what to expect, and they tend to fall in behind you very naturally because you lead by example. And obviously that's captain material, but that's coming from, like you said, a very decorated coach. And she just, you know, how she pauses and she's like, oh, I don't even know. There's so many words. And, you know, she just talked about how she's your hands down her number one PKer. But, you know, again, just wanted to keep reiterating just what's so awesome about hockey, and sort of one of my things behind this that I always tell Brownie is just like, what happens with the person from the hockey? You know, what does the hockey do to the person? Like MK O'Brien, she our next CEO somewhere, probably, right? So that's what I'm hearing when I read that and when I see that. So I thought it was important to share with you.
Yeah, those are really kind words, and they mean a lot, obviously. But yeah, so I think it's really easy to be a leader on a team that has such a strong culture that's been built over the years by the people before me, but also that's like modeled every day through our staff too. And so like to be a part of the leadership group with like already amazing leaders, it makes it a lot easier and more enjoyable.
Yeah, but don't sell yourself short, because that culture it's like a fragile thing, you know. You have to nurture it and grow it. You can't take it for granted, and that's good on you, you know. And when Linda, when you were reading that from Schuler, all I was hearing was like the Bergeron comparisons. It's really, I mean, it's what it is,
Yeah.
right? It's the same.
I wanted to say it sooner because you were talking about Bergeron. And I was like, oh, this is what's on my paper. I'm really glad you didn't say you were hearing echoes and you were hearing what I was
No,
saying.
no, 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 no. There was no echoes. You were all right. You doing all right. Well, let's get into your. Oh, first, before we go any further, so you wear number 3. Any significance to number 3?
Not really. It was closest to 9, which is what I was wearing at BK. And so that was the number that I was hoping to get when I went to UMD. But this is actually a funny story. It worked out when I committed that number 9 was going to be available when I came in as a freshman. But with COVID, the 5th years, the girl, and I joke about this with her all the time, Naomi Rogi wore 9. And so it ended up, she got to keep it for another year. And so then I came in, it wasn't available. So I was like, oh, I like wearing odd numbers, and 3 is pretty close to 9. So we'll take it.
Yeah. I always ask that. So numbers. I don't know if you're even aware of this. For your career, you're a plus 23, which I know plus minus is, everybody says it's an outdated stat, but I think it still gives a pretty good picture. Last season, you were top 5 in goals, assists, points, plus minus. You were one of 3 skaters to score a shorty, second in PIMS, which Schuler's probably not thrilled about. And that's the mass. That's the mass in you right there.
Yeah.
It's a very physical league. It's a very physical league.
And you were second in blocks for forwards behind Mobley. So pretty good stat line. Actually, when you say that about the physical league, have you noticed since because you were in college when the PWHL became a thing, have you noticed an uptick in the physicality at the college level?
I would say yes, in the sense of like our opponents probably, but like our team has always been very physical. Like I came in as a freshman, and like every practice, like we're going to war against each other and like trying to make each other better. But in general, I would say like the teams up and down have gotten more physical. And it's funny, like you say, like about the PIMS and like how it's a physical league. Like I'm actually like a smaller player, like height wise, like I'm only 5'4", and like our average height on my team is probably like an upwards of 5'7" at least. Like we're a big team. And so like I feel like just because I'm like shorter or whatever, like I have to play big and like I have to play physical, and brace myself and on the wall and in corner battles. So like, yeah, I think that's part of the reason why I'm like working so hard is because, I wasn't gifted being 5'8", 5'9", so it's just the extra little edge that I'm trying to play with. So
And there's the Marchand comparison. See,
yeah.
it all works out. It all comes together. All right, so this is where I'm going to show more of my ignorance. So you graduated magna cum laude in business analytics and marketing major with a management information systems minor. I have that
Yeah.
correct?
Yep.
So as someone who owns a contracting company, you want to explain what those are to me?
Yeah. So I was a double major. So my first major, business analytics, that's basically like you're dealing with data, like big data is everywhere. And so I was taught how to not only like manage the data and like process it by like cleaning it and, like coding all of like the nerdy stuff. um, but also to like use it to help drive decision making. So like if you think about it, like if we were to I bring it back to like hockey because ultimately like I would love to work in hockey like after I play, like I want to play till my legs fall off. But
Right.
like if I were to work for like the Bruins and I was like on their analytics team, like if I were given like a bunch of data like about certain free agents or whatever, like you could look at their data and like try to draw meaning from it. Like, oh, here's a player that here are all their stats. Like, how can we summarize it in a way that's meaningful? And then you can compare them with like other free agents. So like, and look to see, oh, should we sign this guy or should we sign this guy? So like, I think that that's like something that like I've always really liked math and numbers and stats.
Have you heard of College Hockey Inc?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Maybe an internship.
Yeah.
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 We can put you in touch with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's like basically why I got into business analytics. And then marketing was originally going to be a minor. But I was like only a few credits away from making it a major. So I was like, oh, I'll take an extra couple classes and make it a major. So I graduated with those two. And I think marketing is everywhere. Like regardless if you go and work for like a marketing agency, like or not, like I think it's always important to understand how to sell something and how to make it look attractive to another person. So I think that that's like a good skill regardless of if you get into it. And then MIS, that was just like that and business analytics kind of went hand in hand where there's a lot of like crossover in the classes, but it was just extra like good knowledge to know, like databases, like how to build one, how to I don't know, like interpret one or whatever, and then just extra like I don't know, like it's not going anywhere, like computers and all that like deep stuff. Like I could sit here and just talk about it, but like it's not going anywhere. So I think that it's important that I like had the opportunity to learn about it. And yeah, so
it's funny when I read those, I was like, oh, that sounds like math.
yeah.
Yeah, no, good for you, man. That was great.
Like,
that was great. I even understood it. Yeah, that was
it's a
your
business
explanation.
it's a business engineering degree, it sounds like,
Right.
like
Yeah. So how did you use that in working for Grandma's Marathon?
Yeah, so Grandma's Marathon leaned more into like the marketing and social media side, but like also given what I know about analytics, like I was able to like, for example, like on the social media, they give you some like basic analytics or whatever. So I could like look at that stuff and kind of help use that for like different posts and stories or whatever. Try to like what time of day or like what type of audience is this reaching. So like I was able to like, use that and it was really cool because like I knew I was going to be in Duluth this summer taking classes for my master's. And so I was like, well, why don't I look into getting an internship too? And Grandma's Marathon is like so huge here. Like it's like so cool. Like it's something that you can't even really wrap your head around until you've like seen it firsthand. So for me to like be here and to like be a part of it too was really cool.
That is cool.
Do you want to talk about the clothing line and do a shameless plug for your clothing?
Wait, what do you
For
mean?
your stuff, I saw you had on your, I think it was on your Instagram, you had like you can get your shirts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I have, like, a couple different, like, collections or whatever. There's, like, an athlete's thread, and then there's also Murray Ave. So, like, the 2 of them, I think are in, like, my Instagram
Mm.
bio, like, links or whatever, and so I can get, like, MK O'Brien merch.
It's a
So
pretty cool shirt. It was like an
yeah.
action shot. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been, like, pretty cool. Like, I can always count on my parents getting that stuff.
I know we're gonna be selling a lot in Wilbraham. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I knew that, I would have ordered it and wore it for
Oh,
our,
well, for the
our
thing, yeah.
That
session.
would've
I
been
keep talking
awesome.
about people sending us like stuff. I'm like, you want me to wear your stuff? Send me merch.
Oh,
That yes.
dude, I'm even worse. I ripped my bag open up in Toronto. So now every time I'm on a podcast, I'm like, if anyone's got a bag, I could use a new hockey bag. BK Selects. I'll rep your stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other one I had for you is, so I heard Mobley on a podcast. Great interview. She seems like a really good kid. But she was saying how you were the in charge of the aux cord last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd that come about? Was it a rotating, or did you just grab it and say, I got it?
Well, like, day to day and, like, practice and stuff, we keep it pretty loose, like, rotate, whoever wants it that day can take it, but for games, I took it, and, like, we kinda, like, shared a playlist, so if, like, people wanted something, they could add it to our Spotify playlist, but honestly, not that many people added stuff, so yeah, the responsibility kinda just fell to me, and I have a lot of fun with it because 'cause I'm kind of like a music nerd, like, I think I have such a broad music taste, like, I like everything. So, I think that I can kind of appeal to a large audience, you know? But yeah, so I don't know, I think it just kind of fell in that because sometimes it's hard, like, it's an extra thing to think about on, like, a
Right.
game day, and some people just don't
Mhm.
want that, and that's kind of how I was for my first couple years in college. I was like, "I don't want my phone near me at all, like, it's gonna stay in my dry stall from the time I get there at 11 until 5:30 after the game, 6 o'clock. So I'm not
Mhm.
gonna touch it." But what I do is I put my phone on do not disturb, and the only thing I go on is Spotify, and it works out great because then it's also kinda nice because I can kind of like, "What do I wanna listen to right
Right.
now?" And then it's like take requests, so it's a lot of fun. I, like, feel like it's a good way to, like, get creative and stay loose before games too, like, not just be sitting in your head.
Are there some songs that are like must-haves before games that you last year you were like, no matter what we do, we have to play X?
Well, after, like, the World Juniors, Freebird was, like, pretty
Yeah.
high in the rotation, we loved that one. Um, we really jumped onto that, and then, like, Dream On by Aerosmith was a good one, if we wanted to go, like, more rock route, um, but, like, we try to play, like, a lot of different genres because 'cause they're the people that like rap, and then there are the people that like pop, and there are people that like rock. So, like, trying to just keep it upbeat and, like, fun so that everybody can kinda, like, nod their head to it. That's kinda, like, what we do.
Those Western Canadian kids with their country music they all wanna
Yeah.
listen to, yeah.
That too.
I will say it does bite you. It does bite you in the butt. There's a you probably don't even know this band, but your parents will. Jay Giles was what we always listened to, right? When I was growing up and before games. And I'll still like if we have like a big playoff game for beer league, I'll still
Mhm.
put in like the entrance song, that we used to come
Yeah.
out to, before I get to the rink. And I met the drummer of Jay
Really?
Giles. Yeah, it was awesome. Met this guy and I go to him, I go, hey man, I just want to say I'm a huge fan. We used to come out to your songs in high school, get us all fired up, and in college. He's like, "Oh, thanks, that's awesome." And we were shaking hands, and I go, "Yeah, sometimes for beer league, I still will listen to it to get fired up." And you could just see the light go out in his eyes. He was like, "Okay, guy."
What's
He just
beer
kind
league?
of was like,
Do they
What's
sing,
beer league?
do they sing Centerfold?
"What's that?"
Yeah.
Do they sing
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they
That's,
do.
like, one of my favorite songs ever.
They
staple too.
Music is starting to come back around because I've got like 11 and 13-year-old nieces who they were recently visiting us from Boston over Memorial Day, and we were in the car going somewhere for about 20 minutes. And so it was like request line, it goes around the car, all the kids get to pick something. And they were picking some like throwbacks. We're talking like some 60s and 70s songs. And they were like, "Can you play this?" And I was like, "Is that what you meant?" And when the song starts, and they're like, "Yeah, I love this song." So, and I find that my kids who are young, they find out about some songs and play songs too. So I feel like music is starting to be like clothes.
Yeah, it's universal.
Like the bell bottoms or the flare pants or whatever you want to call them. They were bell bottoms, now they're called flare, but they're the
Yeah. Yeah. My dad
goes back around.
Yeah, my dad's had a big influence over my music too. Like,
Yeah.
we'd be going to like hockey or whatever, and we'd be listening to like Metallica, and so if I ended up not liking that music, he would have felt like he failed, I'm sure. So he's a big like grunge guy too. So yeah, I would say I've definitely been influenced by like my parents, but then also like just my generation. So I end up liking like everything.
Yeah, the movie Sing, where they repurpose the older songs and like
Mhm.
repackage them to kids. One of the happiest days, my 9-year-old, when she was like, "Do you know this guy Prince?" And I'm like,
Oh.
"Oh yeah," and I was like, "Sit down, buddy." That was a good day.
I was checking out your I'm listening, but I'm checking out your Murray Ave as we were talking.
Oh yeah, she's picking out her sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, okay. All right."
I want to ask you about some of your teammates over the years. I don't want to go through all of them, but I mean, it's like you know, Ottawa, Toronto, Swiss League, Boston, just which is great for you guys to see that path. I don't know I don't know how the conversations go in the room, but Nina Job Smith, how is she not drafted?
She is.
She did get drafted.
Yeah, she got
All
drafted
right.
to Vancouver. Mhm.
That's all right. See, okay. I didn't have it in my notes, and I'm like, how did they? Oh, thank God we had this conversation before. Before I talked to like the GM of Boston and be like, hey,
Yeah.
we should look at it. I don't think she got drafted. Oh my God. Thank you for saving me for looking like a jackass in front of someone else. But
Yeah, it
yeah,
was actually amazing because she's from Vancouver, and so, like, the arena is, like, literally, like, right next to her house,
oh,
and
that's
s
awesome.
yeah, so it was
I'm
pretty
glad I was wrong.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And then upcoming this year, is it AMSO? Is that how you say it?
Amsoil, yeah.
AMSO, yep. Uh, some things that stood out to me on your schedule. You got the quarterfinals at home. No pressure, right? And then you going to Belfast.
Yeah, we are going to Belfast this year, that would be really cool.
Have you been?
I've never been to Belfast. I have family that lives in Ireland, because my grandpa was from there, and then immigrated to the United States when he was, like, 16. So,
Yep.
like, I have a lot of family that's, like, in, like, the Republic of Ireland, like, southern, but Belfast is in Northern Ireland,
Right.
so never been to Northern Ireland, but looking forward to it.
Yeah, those trips are the great, especially when you go with your friends like that, the team and everything. That should be a good one.
Well, and that tournament has evolved, and a few of the college teams now on the women's side have gone and done that, and the experience
Mhm.
is second to none, I think.
Yeah, and it's fun to just play, like, other teams, like, out of conference games are just fun because it's, like, a good opportunity, it's like, "Oh, we're not playing St. Cloud for the 6th time," so it'll be fun to play Harvard, Quinnipiac, and BU. I've never played BU, but I've played against Harvard and Quinnipiac, so
All right,
must
yeah, those are the four. I was going to ask you if you knew the
Mhm.
other. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that should be a good trip. That'll be fun. And it's over New Year's, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice. So you'll
Might have
be
to hop on that trip.
yeah, you're going to try to get on that one, are you?
Why not?
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
fun.
That'd be sick. I'd love to go back. I was there once. It was a great time. I loved Ireland.
It's so pretty.
Um, Linda, what do you got? You got anything else before we get to the idiot questions?
No. We were talking earlier. I was at your game at Cornell
Hmm.
this year, which was a heartbreaker.
Mhm.
We had driven down, myself, my wife, and my two kids, and I don't know, maybe we hadn't seen Shu in like a year. She definitely hadn't seen the kids in over a year, but maybe I saw her at some point along the way. But was hard to wait after. I was like, okay, we did drive here, and our kids are like jumping, like bouncing off the walls because the game went long. We
Yeah.
ended up sitting also where we were sitting. You'll remember this, where the Cornell student section is, where the guys are standing with the all paint and everything. And my son was just like, he's 8.5, so he was like just staring at that, like
Yeah.
watching them the whole time. But
Mhm.
you were talking about your Marshawn thing, and I was like thinking back, and I was trying to redo the reel in my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, she was good. Now it's really awesome that we're talking to you, because I mean, I buy the Big Ten pass and try to watch your games. A lot of it, obviously stay connected with Shu, but also like when we started the podcast, where I was like, let's take the league and let's really start to try to watch, and
Mm.
Mhm.
and so I did that this year, but it's nothing like being live.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't say enough. I was like, yeah, okay, I remember her. I
Yeah.
remember how like she just was so sneaky around the net and just constantly like, and especially being at that net was twice, right? Because that's where the Cornell goalie is,
Yep.
twice.
Mhm.
And yeah, and you achieved the Marshawn status for me.
Oh, good.
That might be the highest compliment Linda can give
Yeah.
you.
I
Yeah.
know. I know, you guys are, like, making my life, and you're s I mean, Bergeron and Marchand, I'm like
I'm gonna buy him at Murray Ave gear, and I'm gonna come to Duluth and visit Shu, and I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
and you're gonna be like, there's that crazy lady from the podcast.
No, you can clip these little snippets when we're comparing you to Bergeron and just slip them into the mix before the games. You're like, oh, guys, I don't know how that got in there. So weird.
Who did that?
All right, so we got a little bit of lightning round for you.
Right.
Just like a little bit of them here. Off top of your head, no pressure. Would you rather have the ability to speak any language in the world or the ability to talk to animals?
Ooh, talk to animals, because I feel like I mean, it'd probably be more practical to be able to speak any language, but I just wanna know what animals are thinking.
Yeah, yeah. In your entire playing career, do you think you spent more time on the PK or on the power play?
PK.
Okay. And which would you prefer if it was the other way? Which I was gonna say, which do you prefer?
Well, obviously, like, game situations, like, power play, because you're on the advantage, and I, like, played on the power play this year too, and it's, like, a lot of fun. You're
Mm,
playing offense. But I think nothing gains the team more momentum than after, like, a big penalty kill.
Yeah.
And it's fun to score shorthanded goals.
oh yeah.
So, just because you're on the penalty kill doesn't mean you can't play offense every now and then too. So, I like them both for different ways.
Even having a big block on the penalty kill is huge.
Mhm.
I was playing on a beer league team that was way over my head, and I'd be like, I can kill penalties. I can go out there. I can go out there at the forward point for penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing on a team with a lot of future Olympians, and I made penalty kill my specialty to get on the ice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So usually, like, I wasn't on a line with Schuler. We probably would have fought or something if we were on a line together anyway. But I do pride myself on the fact that I found a way. I used to tell kids this all the time, to get into the lineup, and first pair up was myself and Schuler. Like when a PK came, 12 and
Mhm.
22 go, and I'd be like, yes, I'm sorry we have a penalty, but yes.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
As a penalty killer, this is not part of that. It just popped in my head. What would you like to see the jailbreak rule make it to the NCAA?
Yeah, I think so, especially considering we had a lot of shorthanded goals this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, right. For you guys, yeah.
I think well, it also, like, holds the power play accountable too,
Right.
like, of making sure that you're not out there just, like, being all lackadaisical and, like, not thinking about the D side of it too, nobody wants to give up shorthanded goals. So, yeah, I think it'd be really cool. I think it's, like, a fun rule that the P-Dub has, but, like, to see it in the NCAA would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, I just always liked that one, and I wish they would take away the team shorthanded call the icing. I like that.
Oh,
I like
no.
that wrinkle too. I
Yeah.
don't think that's in the PWHL yet. I think they tried it in the AHL a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one. All right, if you could live anywhere in the world, money, job, no object, where would you pick?
Ooh. I would say somewhere in Europe would be cool, but also, like, to be close to family, I think, like, even, like, living in Boston too, like, I don't know.
Without not your home rink, so no AMSOL. Favorite and least favorite rinks you've played in.
Favorite, probably, well, my the 2 favorites, I always say that LeBon, which is Wisconsin's rink, and then Ritter as well, which is Minnesota's rink. Those 2 are really fun. LeBon is, like, always sold out. Like, they always have, and I mean, Ritter has, usually has a pretty good crowd too, but they're smaller because they just belong to the women, and they fill it, and the energy in there is great. So, like, I love playing at those 2. So I usually say LeBron's my favorite, Ritter's a close second, and then least favorite, probably Ohio State.
Fair,
Fair, fair.
It's
We all agree after, watching NCAA. So you can go back to one of our episodes about it.
yeah, right. So, and it's like, they say it's their favorite because they have to, but I think deep down, like, they're a Big Ten school and they're a really successful program, and so it's okay to want more than what you have. And, we're in the away locker room, we have to go up and down the stairs, and that's tiring going into the third period or double overtime when we're playing UConn at that rink.
listen, I'm playing at Valley tonight in like probably 4 or 5 hours, and that's probably equal to Ohio State's facility. Your own music festival, the MK O'Brien Music Festival. Give me your top 3 artists, living or dead. You had 3 stages. Who would you have?
Oh, Taylor Swift. um, Probably Morgan Wallen too for keeping it basic. And then I love, just to get 3 is crazy because, like I said, I just have such a broad, like, taste in music. I mean, Coldplay's been all over the place, like, with their
They've been all over
concert.
the news lately too.
Yes, that always looks like a really cool one. But I also love, like, Post Malone or
I thought you were going to throw Jay Giles in there.
For
yeah,
me, life and go.
well, dead or alive too. Like, I could say, like, Michael Jackson or, like,
Yeah.
like, so there's just so many, but I would say I'll lock in Taylor Swift and Morgan Wallen. I have seen Morgan Wallen twice, but I've never seen Taylor Swift, so she's definitely up on. Oh, Justin Bieber too. Oh, there's so many.
I'm so proud of myself that I knew everyone that you mentioned. This might be the first time ever. There was someone I interviewed and they said 3 and I didn't know a single one. I'm like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And I was like writing them down so I could go look them up afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have. Linda, you got anything that you wanted to ask?
No, this has been awesome. Really, what is it? The second player we've had on so far.
Yep.
Had a few coaches on.
Well, we had former players, but not current, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Everybody's going to have a connection in some way to the past or the present or future of women's hockey. But really great to get to know you. And I'm telling you, when I come to Duluth, I'm gonna find you.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait to go to these rinks. I want to just convince my wife, be
I
like,
know.
hey, I know it's the middle of winter. Will you watch the plow route? I'm gonna go take a tour of the Midwest.
We keep talking about, like, let's take breaking the glass on the road, and you're laughing at us because we're still recording, but we were talking about our audio issues before and trying to get everything set up, and
Yeah.
We're talking about going on the road.
Yeah. Imagine this live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know until you try.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you to you, MK, for coming on and putting up with my questions and answering Linda's questions. Yeah, go Bulldogs, right? Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs.